Good evening, good evening, good evening, folks. If I look rough, that's because it's been a rough day. Holy Mother of God. Show your call center agent family members some love, folks. We go through some special level of hell during this particular time of year. Show them some love. Get some calm down tea. Get them all the calm down tea, all right? Oh my God, please shoot me. Anyways, before I go off babbling about my day, welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. And as always, please look past the how awful I look at the moment, okay? I know it looks bad. I know it does. All right, folks, if you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign and unfamiliar with the campaign against the troubled teen industry, if you could, folks, please take a look inside the description box. You're going to see all the pertinent links in our ever growing archive. Please, in particular, pay special note to the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center does not want you to read this article so much. They have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused. Please read that article and share it on all your social media, folks. We also got blah. Geez, I can't even think. It's that kind of day. The blah 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 blah. Sorry, folks. Trigger warning, folks. We are speaking on this channel about the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or the Agape Boarding School for Boys. You can hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please go ahead and utilize those headphones. Trigger warning number 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity on occasion, especially on nights like this, and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. Other trigger warning. Number 3, we are about to read Republican Talking Points 101. We're going to hear people quoting parts of the Constitution that is not pertinent to the subjects at hand. We're going to hear they're utilizing talking tropes that they have basically beaten into the ground at this point of federal versus state, which in actuality has nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. They like to use these talking points and laud us with legalese word salad that might even make Miss Elaine blush because they don't want you to read into it too deeply. Because if you read into it too deeply, you understand that the federal government does not give two shits about disabled people, especially disabled kids. They like to say they do, and they certainly like to toot us out every time they want to beat you down with the anti abortion. But in actuality, when it comes to taking care of us and making sure we're getting proper treatment, they can't be asked. So be prepared for that at my very blunt commentary. All right. States, not the federal government, traditionally have regulated the practice of medicine. Okay, think we read through all of this earlier. It's just a bunch of legalese nonsense. Conclusion. Oh, thank God. In the end, despite the length of our discussion, the resolution of the controlling issue is quite easily expressed. When Congress has spoken in a statute, we assume that it says what it means and that the statute means what it says. Oh, for the love of God. No, you don't. Let me explain it to you like you're 5, you Republican shill in a judge's robe. Every single argument that you're making in this way too long of a document, in no way, shape, or form actually explains in a coherent manner, why you made the decision that you did. Your constitutional arguments are garbage. Your whole basis for overturning the ban is absolute garbage because it's based on a lie that you pulled literally out of your ass. Yeah, it's quite clear. It's quite clear you don't care what happens to us. Sorry, not sorry. I've had that kind of night, and folks, forgive me for cursing, but I got 0 fucks to give. In this case, the statute says that the FDA is not to construe its statute so as to interfere with the practice of medicine. Again, you've made this argument. Again, it doesn't apply. And again, it's a lie. Republican judge. You mean me, you. Let's have a conversation. Because what you're trying to tell me in this argument, once again, we'll use the crack cocaine analogy, is that if my doctor prescribes crack cocaine to me, an illegal substance, I might add, as a preventative for depression, you are saying that the federal government or places like the FDA, or I can't even think of the official one that governs firearms and drugs. I'm that tired and pissed off, folks. But you're saying that they would have no rights to interfere, because to interfere by stopping that doctor from prescribing me crack cocaine for depression would be considered interfering with medicine. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, Republicans? I'm telling you that your so-called argument for the overturn of this ban is garbage. Okay? Your argument is child's play to tear apart. Like, I don't even have to burn any brain cells to tear it apart. I'm literally half dead. I just got off of work. I took well over 200 calls today. And I can still tear it apart. Okay? That's just sad. That means the FDA may not enact the regulation at issue before us because we conclude that the FDA lacks the statutory authority to ban a medical device for a particular use. We do not address the petitioner's other arguments, including whether the ban was arbitrary or capricious or whether substantial evidence supported the FDA's factual determinations. Oh, Jesus Christ. So you're essentially telling me that all the evidence, the ER documents, the video surveillance cameras of kids being tortured is not enough for you to believe that the FDA had a justifiable cause to ban this item. Is that what you're saying? Because that sounds like what you're saying. Again, I want to attack this argument that they're trying to use to overturn this ban when it says that the FDA is trying to ban it for a particular use. This is a nonsensical and illogical argument because the device in actual question here is not being used on the wider market for any other purpose. It is used in one place. The purpose as to why it is used is very explicit. Would you like me to get a copy for you of the JRC handbook? Because I would be very happy to do so. They're not tailoring anything. When they are addressing the whys that the GED device is being used, that is not in an effort to try and tailor what it's used for and what it's not. Or use that because you're banning it for only one use, that means it's void. It's only being used for one use. Means your argument is illogical. The JRC is not marketing that device on the wider market as a means to help people stop smoking and people stop drinking. Okay? The reason why the FDA cited a singular purpose as to what the GED was being used for is because that is the singular purpose for which the GED is being used for. Okay? To use the other justifications for the similar device on the surface, the SBIS, to use as the biggest weight behind this bogus argument is utter garbage. Because you're trying to conflate two entirely different devices. The SIBIS device is not the device that is up for debate here. Nor are we debating every single skin shock device on the market. We're talking about a singular one used in a singular place for a singular purpose, which is well documented throughout the hearings that date back literally from 2014 to 2020 and mentioned several times throughout that 2020 decision. Another thing that you don't seem to address is the fact that you are also trying to say that they are tailoring things, saying that's banned for a singular purpose, under the premise that this device was previously approved for use by the FDA, and now they're just trying to dictate what it can and cannot be used for. That's another lie. Because the FDA approved of one singular GED device. The GED device that was in production in 1991. The device as it exists in its current iterations and is being used to torture kids right now in Massachusetts, waking them up in the middle of the night for, I don't know, standing for longer than 3 seconds and they just didn't catch it at dinner time. That device, the FDA never approved for any purpose, which means your argument for tailoring is completely bogus. To then try to use your regular Republican talking points, pushing down your false patriotism down our throats like you'll all do every election year through your politicians, and then citing irrelevant lawsuits in regards to constitutional laws that have absolutely nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. It's illogical, it's stupid, and this thing should be, in my own perfect world that makes coherent logical sense, thrown out and burned in a bonfire. Okay? So let me ask, how much did the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center pay you to regurgitate their talking points? And then use that as justification for this absolutely horrific decision. Also, to try and argue that we're not saying that it's not horrific, we're just saying it can't be used for this reason. When after you made this decision, you put out a public statement that talked about how this device can now continue to be used to change people's lives, and people can't interfere with these kids getting the life-saving medicine from this torture device. Breeds you for the lies that all of you are. We're going to close on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this evening. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I will see you next bit. Bye bye, everyone.